Hello, hello, hello again. It is Bubba coming at you, fellow gamers, and we are continuing our journey in Terraformental. Um, I'm taking the advice of the one commenter, and we're only going to Lorien and then back to Talos to immediately try to go for Strabo. Um, while we're here, I did spend some more time on the hacking before actually just taking the door down, because I don't want to waste any more food than I need to. Because I'm going to run out of some of this food here soon that I'm getting for free because there's not a manufacturing of food here like there is at Talos. And I did charge, got all the empty ones that I could get for power cells, but I noticed that we can now do the search for Olympus and the search for Numa. So what we're going to do is definitely do the Olympus one. That's only 10 seconds. And see maybe if it gives us a little bit more. It says the evacuation message at Strabo mentioned that they would likely be running the eastern chain to Olympus. Assuming it's a facility, Lorien might be your best bet for finding further information on it. So let's go ahead and do that. While this is happening, don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe. Definitely keep the comments coming in on tips and other games to try. I have a hard time sometimes just keeping up with what new demos and games come out, and then obviously the ones that my viewers want to see. It doesn't take long at all to go through all the references you can find to Olympus because there are so few. What little you can find confirms that it is a facility. Several personnel and high-tech cargo shipments were sent from there to the various other facilities, but that's about all you're able to learn. Perhaps if you can reach a facility further to the east, you'll be able to learn more. Aha! So, now, it's not going to show anything, I guess, on the map. We still have this one going to, I think this is to get to Astrip from Talos that I think we had in one of our notes before. And the notes here on Olympus basically just saying the very thing, saying it's a very long way to the east. My guess is we probably have to have that VTOL that we found to do it. This is going to say the same thing, almost word for word. Okay. Well, let's search for Numa. I mean, it's 1 minute. Um, I think we're gonna be okay that long on food. I'm not so worried about the water, but we do have the water installed on the rover now. So I'll just keep that going. There goes one now. We'll keep that up. Food is probably going to be our primary problem in going to Strabo. I think that's the one that we've been running out of um, recently. So we're going to give that a shot. Okay, what have we got for Numa? What are we going to find? Don't know if I'm going to need any more power because it's only the admin computer and the air recycler right now that's taking power because we used all of our, or we charged our thing already all the way. All right, what do we got here? All right, it seems that Numa actually is built on top of the glacier, sort of. It is built on ice, but there's solid ground below that ice, which they drilled down into for the foundations. Communication with the station was difficult due to the snowstorms which frequent the region. However, you do find some of the initial survey maps, and only a dozen areas have ice on top of solid ground of the correct depth to be suitable for that kind of foundation to be practical. You'll have to check them one by one, but you might get lucky. Since it feeds the river, you should be able to drive most of the way there uh, from here or Santorini. Though once you get there, you'll likely have to leave your rover and climb the glacier. You better have a lot of supplies before attempting it. Ooh, wow. Okay. Um, yeah. Oh, that's got a new map. Oh, wow. Okay. Something way up there. Interesting. Okay. So for now, let's go ahead and fill up and get out of here. Well, we still have, yeah, that was the last ration pack, in fact. So we'll get another water bottle and then disconnect and leave. Let's just get out of here. And then we're going to take tunnel to Talos. It's only about 40 seconds. We've gotten that one way down. It started out at 2 minutes. So that's good. Um, Wait a minute. Why are the... Whoa. Why are they disconnected? I thought for sure I'd connected them. Maybe I didn't. Okay, we'll connect them at Talos. We got to go in there anyway. That would have helped on this journey, though. That's an oversight by me. That should have done that. Should have done that. Oh, because I need a power coupler, and I'm not getting the power coupler from Santorini. That's right. Okay, so I have to take the power coupler from Talos to do this. Okay, well, we can do it. We're going to, yeah, this is where we drive this one. But that's fine. We'll worry about that later. Let us park in Talos. We're going to fill the water bottle. We're going to take any kind of protein. No, we don't need the protein bars, but we do need the food, possibly. No. Okay. So we're good on that. We're going to we're going to remove the food synthesizer coupler. We don't have a way around that. Yes, I know. You're going to fuss at me for that. And then we're going to connect solar panels. There we go. Now we should be getting, yes, we should be getting that from there now. Okay. Now we'll go ahead and leave. Let's go ahead and get a water pouch though real quick for the heck of it. We don't need protein bars. Okay. Leaving rover. Yep, we're getting power now. Now we're going to leave for Strabo. Let's see how this works now. Thank you, commenter, on mentioning just going there and back. Let's see how this works doing that. If we do any better. I need to be up here because I'm going to need to fill the water bottles. There we go. Fill the water bottle. There we go. It's going to be a little bit slower on doing the water bottles because we did not go to the Santorini to get the quick cycler edition for the water recycler. Okay, so we did that. Drive to the search area. Wow. Yeah, 14 minutes. 14 minutes. That's going to be a little nuts. We do not even have enough power nor food to do that whole time. So I don't know what that's going to mean. Because before, if I'm not mistaken, at a certain point, it gets to where we can get supplies at the monitoring station. So hopefully that still happens. Because if not, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. Okay, fill water bottle. I'm not keeping up with this because of the time dilation. I'm got to pay attention. I don't want to run into my water pouches and stuff if I can help it. Okay. Still got that going. Pass the regular. Okay, feel the motion. Yep. All right. Let's get some more water bottles. Okay. I'm pretty sure that search area is supposed to be coming up at some point. Or the outpost, I mean. Not search area. We are going for the search area. 10 minutes left. Okay, we're going to start running into problems if we don't find that outpost. I can't remember how far it was to it. And was it in... Yeah, there's a monitoring station. Okay, so we're still on this path, so hopefully we can still get there. Okay, unpause. Let's do our water bottles. Starting to get behind on the air tanks because we're having to do so much. Okay. How much longer until we get to that outpost? Wowzers. Okay. We are now going to run out of food if we don't start getting somewhere quick. Then we have to check the weather forecast for a sandstorm and all that stuff that we normally do. Okay, that's the dam opening. That's the thing getting insured. There we go. Drive to the outpost. Holy moly. Okay, well, we definitely have to drive to the outpost. We just will not have enough. Well, that's the only thing we can do. It actually won't let you bypass it, um, which makes me believe that you just can't have enough resources to go all the way without stopping. Okay, 30 seconds. Definitely running low on food, aren't we? And the thing is, we don't have the environment suit, which also gave us higher numbers on this stuff. So I don't know. We're going to see how it works because I almost think the Santorini is a good way of doing it, although it does take a lot longer. And so that itself might deplete our resources more than what it's worth. But we'll see. Okay. The biggest thing for going to the Larian is to get the extra solar panels. But okay, so we could gather, which is leave, enter, get all this stuff, and check the weather forecast. Well, that's pretty much what we want to do. And this is like 11 seconds, but okay, so let's gather and all that, and then find out what it says as far as sandstorm. Maybe one of these times we could get lucky and it just says, oh, there's no sandstorm coming, and we could go. But I think every single time so far, it has definitely said there is one coming. No, there's not. No signs of a sandstorm. Okay, so maybe bypassing Santorini maybe will even help us on bypassing the first sandstorm. That would be fantastic because that used a lot of resources when we had to do that before. Okay, so let's depart. Okay. Depart for search area. Good. You know we're going to hit some kind of sandstorm, though. I mean, that's just going to have to happen. Okay. Still going. Still going. Fill water bottle. Yep. We got a good amount of food now this time. That's good. I want to keep these water bottles filled up to until at least we're above what our food will run out at. So it looks like we're doing good this time. Maybe bypassing the other gets us away from the initial sandstorms, which would be fantastic. Okay, so sandstorm approaching. Oh, we're not going to be able to make it in time. But doing it more and more definitely helps. Okay, so we run it into the distance. Yeah, if we try to make that, it's going to be brutal. I'd already found that. Oh, it paused automatically. Okay, that's fine. Fine. Let's get rid of that and unpause, and let's just go find shelter. I know we're going to take a little bit of damage, but I think it's going to be worth it. Plus, it gets it to where. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done the water bottle. I should have. Even the 2 seconds makes a huge difference. I should have waited until we got there. But doing more and more of the find shelter should reduce its time further and further. Okay, we're taking damage. Yep. 9-8, 9-7. All right. Hopefully we get in there because it's also using a lot more power. There we go. Sandstorm. Okay, so we're just gonna wait. Now I can do water bottle because I've got nothing else to do anyway. Another water bottle. Okay, we're still waiting. Ah, gracious sakes alive. This is going to take, I guess, a while. And we're getting 0.08 because there is a current sandstorm. There we go. Sandstorm's finally done. Okay, leave the shelter. Let's get back on this before we run out of supplies. And we'll do another water bottle. Hopefully we don't hit another sandstorm. If we only hit the one sandstorm, I think it's worth the sacrifice of just going to Lorien and right back. Okay. Do another water bottle. Another water bottle. Okay, now we got more water than we do food, so we can just let it ride for a while and not waste our resources or time. 2 minutes, but it's definitely time dilation, so it's still going down. We're starting to get below the bar on the air tank. Every once in a while, it's going down to 2 now. So I'm not sure how long that will last. Okay, sandstorm approaching. How much longer have we got? Well, let's find shelter again. Yeah, let's find shelter. My concern is, as you've seen, we go through that. This goes to pot super fast, and it just gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And I'm worried we're going to get into the persistent one, and we just won't be able to do but maybe like 5 seconds on it. So let's just sit and get this taken care of. Yep, it's affecting. Yep, we're going down again. 0.943. There we go. All right, while we're waiting, let's just fill up our water bottle. Might as well. We're going to need to use up the time anyway. And hopefully we don't have to do much time from waiting on the sandstorm. If we have to wait more than a minute or two, it's just not going to probably, maybe we should fight through it. I don't know. Leave a comment, see what everybody's thinking on that. I'm not sure the best method, to tell you the truth. Yeah, see, we're already going to be waiting a whole minute, and the sandstorm's still going. Okay, storm's finally gone. Okay, so let's leave the shelter. Don't need to worry about water now for the foreseeable future. Drive to the search area again. Okay, well, we have over 9 minutes. That's definitely more than the food and the water, so that's good. Not too damaged. What have we got? Okay, let's do the search. We got a minute. Yeah, we can actually finish it this time. I think now, if a sandstorm comes, I'm just going to have to go through it. Because waiting another minute isn't going to be worth it. And we got more than enough power compared to our food and stuff that I think we'll just fight through it. Oh, no, we can't. Oh, that's right. It happened before. And when the sandstorm comes, it says you can't see enough in order to search for Strabo. And so you have to find shelter. So, or just sit out there in it. So that doesn't make any sense. Okay. Let's hope we don't hit another sandstorm before we finish this, because that would be so frustrating with only about 20 seconds left. And all of a sudden we hit another sandstorm and have to wait, what, about 2 minutes? Because it takes 30-something seconds to get in the shelter. It takes, what, 10 to 20 to get out, and you have to wait almost a minute in there. All right, this is looking good. 3, 2, 1, done. Okay, you've spent so long staring at the horizon, hoping to catch a glimpse of some tall communication or sensor tower belonging to Strabo that you almost dismiss the first sign of the facility you actually get. As you ascend an unusually large dune far further away than you expected, a shining beacon almost blinds you even at this distance. Your first thought is that it's simply a mirage or an oasis of some such, but then you remember that your destination is a concentrated solar farm. That reflection is likely from the central tower. Okay, so we have head for the reflection. Oh, we could drive to Talos. Wow. 19 minutes. Holy moly. Well, I mean, let's drive towards the reflection. We don't have much choice. Is this... Okay, so this is notes. While we're waiting on all this, we've got Strabo. By comparing the weather reports from multiple stations, okay, that it's already there, but thankfully it only means I'll optimize my journey to Strabo as a whole. It's always in the same approximate area. Rather than easily breaking into 2 legs, hopefully Strabo isn't similarly affected, or the process will be even more difficult. Okay. Numa, this is the crates and all that stuff. Yeah, okay. What we got? Hopefully we don't hit another sandstorm. No, there is a freaking sandstorm approaching. I don't care. Go for it. We only got like 8 seconds to get there. I ain't going for shelter right now. We're down to 35.7 instead of 36. But okay, as you get closer to the gleaming beacon, it becomes increasingly obvious that you were correct. The huge central tower is surrounded by concentric rings of wide, ultra-reflected sheets, all focusing the sunlight inwards. The lower level of the tower, of course, would be all of the living quarters and other basic rooms of the facility, while the top was dedicated to the plasma-based systems, which converted all the focused thermal energy into electricity. 20 seconds? Eh, we'll go through 5 seconds of the sandstorm. I'm not worried about that. Okay, so map. Oh, now that's interesting. So basically, it's saying it could appear anywhere in this area, I guess, depending when you do a new loop. That's my guess, anyway. Okay, I'm not worried about that. Let's just get to the facility. There we go. A narrow road between the panels guides you towards the vehicle bay. Carefully maneuvering through the forest of reflectors, you get a very good look at them. Unfortunately, most of them seem to be scratched to the point of becoming completely ineffective, no doubt by the sandstorms that that have been ravaging the area. You'd be surprised if the facility is still able to generate much power from them. You pull up outside the unusually small vehicle bay door, curious if it'll open for you. Hmm. Okay. Open vehicle bay? Sand buildup around rover. You'll have to dig it out by hand. Oh wow. That's new. Huh. Okay. You're disappointed when the smaller than usual vehicle airlock refuses to respond to your command. Looks like you will have to leave your rover exposed to the elements while you head inside. Oh, is that even possible? Is that even possible with the sandstorm? Well, I guess we'll find out. Only one way to find out, I guess. Okay, we're out there. I'm not digging out the rover. Enter the tower. Um, small personal airlock seems to have no power, forcing you to resort to the cumbersome manual controls. And now we're going to be running out of food, so hopefully we find some food in here pretty quick. Wondering if the next time, though, we don't have to do the multiple legs like it said. And I think I will bypass Santorini like we did this last time, just to see if that helps. Okay, when you finally finish manually cycling the airlock, you're surprised to find that the vehicle bay is tiny. Rather than the huge shared rover and aircraft hangar with spaces for dozens of vehicles you're used to seeing, this room would struggle to fit more than 3 or 4 rovers. Other than a small workshop set up in one corner of the bay, the only other feature of the room is a single door leading to the rest of the facility. While you're glad when your suit notes that the air is fresh, you're not surprised that it's not being kept that way. Okay, so we got about 2 minutes of air. Okay, so let's explore. That's 45 seconds, and then we're out of food. So we'll have about, what, 10 seconds or so? Oh, wow, look at this. Rover stuck in sand. You'll have to go outside and dig it out by hand. It's still got a sandstorm going. Yep, we're full of sand now. It is the maximum amount, I guess. Well, I don't see us getting out of here, so I'm not that worried about it. I think we did the right thing by bypassing or by not finding shelter. We wouldn't have had time for this for sure because we would have been out of food. Okay, hopefully we find something, possibly food. There we go. It seems that this facility is even smaller than you thought. Despite being spread across several floors of the tower, beyond the vehicle bay on the ground floor, the standard living quarters occupy 2 floors. Then offices and, of course, a semi-separate locked administrator's office fill the uppermost floor you can access. There is a single room for monitoring the thermal power system which make up the rest of the tower above, as well as what looks like a backup generator. Aha! So there is a backup generator. Wonder if it can use this fuel capsule or if it just has its own stuff. Power not going to do me that much good. That's not going to help me much good. That's yeah. I'm gone. But which one of these do we want to do first? Hmm. Maybe we should do the power systems, or maybe we should do the living quarters, so that maybe there is some food. And we're going to die before we finish. But then what I'll do is I'll time lapse it until we start to leave for Strabo again. And see this time how well it does on getting down here with the sandstorms. What have we got? Dead. All right. Well, we went 34 minutes though. All right, gang. I will time lapse it, and I will see you gamers in just a little bit. Talk to you later. All right, gamers. So we're back at Talos now after doing everything, and now there is a drive to the outpost. So that's totally different than what we've had before. Shows it will take 13 minutes now after we've done it. So I guess doing it more and more is definitely going to decrease that. That's about it. I don't want to do the astrape yet. Let's just keep going with the Strabo right now. So we're going to do this. The dilated time is like 4 minutes, so I'm going to have to keep on top of the water because last time I did not do that so well. Sometimes that mouse over really gets in the way because if I'm sitting here, I can't tell how many water bottles I have. Okay, there we go. Get another one. Let's see how well we can do on getting. Let's do another water bottle. Okay, that's doing the dilation pretty good now. Going pretty quick. Okay, that's good. Drive towards Strabo now. Okay, fill a water bottle again. I just want to get it above the food. Wow. Yeah, I mean, if we had to go all, well, no. If this is really getting to the outpost, we're going to run out of food. How did I do that? I mean, I had the exact same amount of food I had before. Wonder how this is going to work. Well, that stinks. Does that mean I'm actually going to run out of food before I even get there? And if so, how did that even happen? I had everything fully stocked. Unless I have to change my priorities, like it used basic food more. Maybe that got messed up. I don't know. I just have this bad feeling we may not even be able to make it over there. Not if this is accurate. I mean, that's just to the outpost? That just doesn't sound right. We did it in plenty of time before. I mean, this is showing I wouldn't even have enough water. Something's up. Is that really? Maybe this isn't accurate? I mean, I don't know. All right, well, it's above the food now at this point, so um, drive to monitoring outpost. It's 38 seconds. Okay, so this is totally different. This is the combined, I think, getting to Strabo as well, which is kind of misleading in my opinion. But whatever, at least we're not going to be running out of resources, I hope. Let's get to that outpost and get our supplies. We've got to get that one down too. Hopefully we can get all of this down a little bit more as we keep doing it. Let's see if we can't make some progress on some of that progressive stuff though. So, or stuff that just lasts. Let's see what we got. Gather supplies from outpost. I think this is what we wanted even last time. So let's do that because it even does the weather report, all of that. Okay. Gathering supplies. There we go. We've got our water bottles, everything else. We're done. So we have ration pack, that's full. Water bottles, that's full. Protein bars, basic food. Yep. Okay. So let us depart. Maybe what I should do is when I start to leave for the Strabo is tell it to use basic food more because that's what we actually pick up at the outpost. I need to make sure of that when we leave next time. But I guess, well, I mean, it did have the other stuff too, so I don't guess that would really make a difference. Okay, whoa, 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 whoa. Find a shelter. Find a shelter. No, 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 no. Why did you not let me do that? Oh, well, that stinks. It doesn't automatically pause when there's a sandstorm approaching. Oh, lovely. Okay, well, it is what it is. I mean, I can't change it now. We would only have about 3 minutes of power anyway getting there. After this one, though, we will definitely just run through, I think, because now we don't have to search for Strabo. Okay, so we're in here. Let's fill our water bottle. Do we have anything else we need to do? No, we just wait. Wait for the sandstorm. Okay, fill the water bottle again. This is where we're going to have to keep doing the water bottle until we get ahead. Okay. About 11 seconds. Okay. We can continue. Leave the shelter. Should be the last time I have to do the shelter on this run anyway. There we go. Drive towards Strabo. 5 minutes. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Okay, well, the water only takes what? 2 seconds? 3 seconds, a little under 3 seconds. I want to get it above the food. Okay. Now I'm going to wait a little bit on the water until, because of the chances of a sandstorm, I'd rather get as far as I can without having to deal with that. Yep, they get to the quadruple rate. That's maxed out. Wow, we're already down to 0.94. Compared to last time, we were higher. I think we were 0.98 or something like that. But we were able to get to the shelter faster. Now I know I have to be very careful because it's going to just pop up and say that there's something coming. Maybe they want you to go through it. I don't know. But should I really do that? The problem is, we're going to go for it. I want to see. No, not ×2. Okay, just go. I just want to see what happens. Because I know it's going to take longer. Yeah, I know it's affecting the rover. And we're down to like 2 minutes. And it's going to get even worse. That's fine. All we have to do is get to Strabo. I'm not expecting to be able to go anywhere afterwards. So I know this is decreasing faster than the other. That's fine. I'm not even going to do water right now. I can't take the chance. We'll do water after we get there, so I can have enough. Okay, sandstorm's over. Okay, water bottle. Okay, 20 seconds. Water bottle. Water bottle. That gets me ahead. Nope. Water bottle. Okay, that puts me ahead of the food. So, as you return to the center of the desert, you're glad to finally see that, unlike the monitoring outpost, Strabo's tower is still where it was last time you found it. Okay. So I'm not sure what this circle means in that case. Maybe that's how big the whole outpost is because of the solar panels? I don't know. Okay, so we have to drive towards Strabo now. Okay, this is definitely damaged. Not worried about it though. That was worth just going right through it. Maybe next time we just go through even the first one. Because I would have thought it would have paused if it was kind of leaning us towards needing to really find the shelter. So we'll try it next time. I know there's going to have to be a next time. There's no way we're going to find, I don't think, enough food and everything else to get all the exploration done. But we'll find out. All right. Well, we've made it here with quite a bit more food and stuff, so that's good. What we got? Yep. Okay, approach the facility. Wow, we still got all this. Okay. Approach the facility. What's in the PDA now? Same thing. Notes. This is the same thing. Just saying that Strabo was unaffected by the moving. Okay. Fine. Narrow road. Yep. Same thing. Depart from tower. More region of the desert. Okay, so we're going to leave the rover. Enter the tower. And we'll definitely have a little bit more time this time to get some of the persistent stuff. Not progressive, persistent. The persistent stuff. Um, what else will we find at this base? Okay, done. Let's finish exploring the living quarters. Obviously, that was the... Oh, good. Okay, so synthesize basic food. It looks like we can get unlimited food if we can get the power system going. And then we can extract water bottles as needed. So let's check the power systems. Force the door is going to be 1 minute compared to 420. It'll be harder to crack the password on this than usual. Log panel on this obviously needs to be modified, so we can't use it from one of the other ones. Okay, here we go. As you suspected, the solar power system steadily declined with each sandstorm and has reached the point where it's basically crippled. There's barely enough emergency power to run these consoles, which are given highest priority so that the power can still be managed. Interestingly, it looks like they're a lot more frequent now than they were when the facility first came online. If you got here early enough in the loop, the reactor might still be generating power. There is, however, one thing which does strike you as quite odd. The amount of power being used is far greater than you'd expect for what you've seen so far. It looks like the power is being routed to several different buildings, but they must be quite some distance away. You didn't see any others on the way in. Wherever they are, you can't shut them down from here, but you can stop transferring power to them, which you'll need to do if you want to make any use of the tower's crippled supply. Okay, well that's interesting. So there's a communication station, a hangar, terraforming systems, and a weather station. Okay, wow. Uh, inspect backup generator. I think that's going to be obviously pretty important so that we can hopefully get food. Okay. Strabo's backup generator has been configured to automatically activate when the tower's power reserves are running low, then deactivate when they get above a certain level to conserve fuel. While this is a sensible precaution, it clearly hasn't helped enough, as its fuel tanks are empty. Thankfully, there's a spare large fuel canister stood nearby, so you can get it running again if you need to. Okay, so I can actually add the fuel capsule. I can also take a canister. Okay. What do we got here? So this talks about all the stuff that's being done. Oh, we definitely need to shut down the terraforming machines. Okay, so powered down terraforming. 5 seconds. Okay. Still can't get food yet. Okay. Powered down. What was the next one? That was the highest. Oh. Weather, communications, and hangar. Okay. So weather, we don't need that right now. Hangar. What is this? Okay, so we've got now enough power just from the reactors to be able to do what we need to do. Okay, that's good. So if that's the case, let's go ahead and synthesize some food. Okay, and then we can take some water bottles. Okay, so we've got that. Let's see. Okay, so let's explore the offices. That's 30 seconds. What have we got here? Air. Oh, that's being done now, so that's good. Power is actually going up. Oh, not now. What is this? Oh, sandstorm's doing it. Okay. So let's well, we can do this without the power. We'll see what happens. What are we gonna have in these offices? Maybe a computer? Okay, you begin searching the offices, hoping to find some clue as to who had been communicating with Santorini regarding the enhanced motors. Unfortunately, there are so many cubicles, each with their own terminals, it'd take days to check each one. Maybe if you figure out the name of the person involved, you can narrow it down. Oh, lovely. Okay, so we don't even know that. So we're pretty much. Oh, we have explored it. That's it. Okay. Sandstorm affecting the rover. That's fine. Add fuel capsule. There we go. The only problem is the power is going to be pretty low. 32. Um, that should be enough though to at least power stuff for right now. I could hack. Oh, admin office door. Yeah. Let's just do the force right now. I really don't want to do this one because it's going to be so long, and I want to find out if there's anything even in there worth anything. Oh, we're getting hit again. -3 from backup generator. Oh, fuel. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let's just force the door open without worrying about the other. I should have grabbed some food while it was going, but we'll grab it in a minute. I'm not going to worry about it. I'll wait till we get to a point where we actually really need the fuel. Okay. 23 seconds. Okay, while that's going, what do we got on the PDA? Notes. Strabo goes into here. Talking about the buildings. We don't know where they are. Okay. And then this doesn't, I'm guessing the buildings might be in this big circle. Not sure. 3 seconds. Got it. When you open the admin office, you're surprised to find more than just one lone desk with a computer terminal. All four walls and considerable amounts of the floor are occupied by various types of maps. After finding exactly 10 protein bars at the monitoring station, you're not too surprised to see the usual box empty. Heh, of course it is. Okay, well, I guess I've got more water. There we go. And then we'll take a fuel canister just in case we need it later. And we're going to go ahead and fill up on food now that the sandstorm's over. Okay. Inspect maps or inspect the admin computer. Let's inspect the admin computer real quick because that needs. Okay, as you lift the fuel canister, you notice that the nozzles on it are significantly larger than any available on the mobile generator. It should fit fine on larger models like the Central Tower's backup generator or the one in A-Strip's aircraft. Oh, but you won't be able to use it to fuel your rover. Interesting. So this might be used at A-Strips for the VTOL. Okay. Carefully stepping over the scattered maps, you reach the terminal and look over the recent logs. They seem to be intact and are even already indexed so that you can easily pull up logs relating to any topics you want. Curiously, you note there's no mention of sandstorms being anywhere near as frequent as you encountered just on the way here. Either it's a freak storm season or they're a relatively new development. I'd say the new development. Okay, so let's inspect the maps now. That's 30 seconds. So we may have a way to power up the batteries that were at A-Strip in the VTOL. So that would be interesting. Wonder if it shows a different canister compared to the other. There seem to be maps of every conceivable type here: topographical, geological, radiological, and what's more, they all seem to be of the desert surrounding the facility. Certain locations are marked with names like Com Station and Weather Station, but as far as you can tell, there's nothing there. Were these just areas they were planning to build? Then again, several of the marker areas have lines coming off them, often leading to question marks. You have no idea what that might mean. Huh. Okay, so search other buildings, but you've not seen anything but the weather outpost in this tower. Hopefully some of the other logs have more details, or search evacuation. Um, that's 15, that's 45. Well, let's just do this real quick because it's the quickest. We'll synthesize food. Power's going up. If we can get it up quite a bit higher, before. Oh, why did it all of a sudden just take a burst? Oh, I think did dilation. Surprisingly, it seems Strabo's evacuation had been planned for quite some time and was mostly conducted in an orderly fashion across several days. No one had died, though several were reported missing. But on the other hand, at least some who had been missing turned up a day or two later. Apparently, they'd just gotten lost when traveling between the other buildings that made up Strabo. But what other buildings? You'd not seen any structures outside the tower and its rings of reflectors. I have a feeling they're buried under sand. Same as our rover. I just Okay, so there's search for the artifact. Okay, let's do that. Um, are we doing more power now? Plus, so we're doing 30 from the reactor. Uh, communication station. I was keeping that one up, but maybe we should power it down. Sure enough, an artifact was found while they were digging the foundations for the communication station. Curiously, though, that was back when Strabo was first being built. They'd been studying it for years without issue. These logs don't go into much detail, so it's hard to tell why it might have activated now. The artifact itself was being studied at the hangar. That's where the main workshop is, so they set up a makeshift lab there too. Presumably, that's where the research logs would be. Oh, okay. Well, let's power down the communication. Let's get as much power as we can shoving into this thing. Because when another sandstorm comes, we're going to be just on battery pretty much. Okay. Yeah, because we got all the damage. Okay. Search for other buildings. That being said, let's go ahead and get some food, get some water. There we go. Okay. I don't want to power down the central tower. As you learned from the power system, Strabo actually consists of 4 buildings. The solar tower, which powers and manages the rest, the hangar to house and work on all the vehicles, a weather station, which collates data from all the smaller outposts, and a communication tower, which links all the outposts across the desert together, even all the way to Talos and Lorien. Thing is, all of them used to be in walking distance of each other. The only physical connection between them was underground power and data cables, but they were all easily visible from the tower you're in. Okay. That's being done. Let's go and get food and water. Okay. Something. No prizes for guessing what. Somehow, started moving the buildings elsewhere. It was subtle at first, swapping the positions of 2 of the buildings, or moving one of them a few meters further away, but over time the effect worsened. In some cases, people were literally walking towards a building when the world seemed to bend and twist around them. When the effect settled, the building had simply moved. One of the strangest part is that the physical connections acted as if they were still connected, allowing the central tower to continue powering and communicating with all the satellite buildings. As soon as it became obvious the moving buildings problem was getting worse, the commander began organizing the steady evacuation, not wanting people to start getting lost or running out of oxygen while trying to navigate between the structures. At least all this explains the strange movement of the weather outpost you pass on your way here. Then again, it also implies that even if you can locate the migrating buildings, you may have to relocate them each loop. Oh, that's just lovely. Okay, if the data connections between Strabo's various buildings are indeed still intact, maybe you can learn more about them. Okay, sure. Connect to other buildings. Oh, we got quite a bit of power now. Okay, let's go ahead and do a food. Okay, here we go. Now that you know what you're looking for, it's easy to find the data connections to the other buildings. All of them can connect, but without any remote codes, you're very limited on what you can access. In fact, you can only find 2 things of any use. First is the weather station, much like how you use the weather reports of the entire region to narrow down where Strabo was. You should be able to use the reports from each outpost to pinpoint the main weather station's position. The other useful connection is to the comm station. It seems it was supposed to be broadcasting the same emergency message as the outpost is. For some reason, it's stopped, but you can easily reactivate it. Then you'll be able to triangulate the source of the message with your rover. Oh, okay. So, what do we got for power? Sandstorm approaching. Okay. So, what is this saying? This action can't be performed because you've shut down the weather stations. Okay. Well, okay, so if I power Oh, there it is. Okay, so if I power up the communication station, okay, trigger, okay, then there's probably going to be some kind of triangulation. You send the command for the communication station to resume its transmission of the evacuation message. Assuming it worked, your rover should be able to pick it up once you leave. Running the transmitter at full power could drain its reserves quite quickly if it's not getting enough from the central tower, though. Hmm. Okay, so we have to make sure the central tower does have power, which it does. But we got a sandstorm approaching, so there's no reason to even go out right now. We still have to dig, and we would have to dig even more after this sandstorm. Okay, and this goes into all this about the weather station, communication, send and receive. We have to reactivate each loop, and then the hangar. Sounds like a good place we probably need to go. Okay. All right, gamers. Well, I just looked, and it's been this is a pretty long episode so far. So I know it kind of sucks, but I think I'm going to cut it on this episode, and we're going to start the next episode right here because we're going to have to wait out this sandstorm, dig out the rover, and then try and find these other stations. Fortunately, it looks like we have unlimited food and water, though, and air, because as long as we can. I'm not sure if this is getting more and more damaged from the sandstorm. Maybe it is. It's 0.15. I don't remember what it was before. So we'll wait and see. But we know this is probably going to be a long journey, and I'm guessing the whole next episode might be just even trying to find these buildings now that we're down here, since we have unlimited food and water and air. So, that being said, I will see you in the next video. Bubba out.